Our QR code one made it into the school newsletter,
Oh, great.
Oh, that's good.
so it went to all the high school one,
High
it went to all the high school
That's great.
families.
Yeah, it really is.
Actually, I think it made it in all of them, because she approved it for me.
Yeah, it should, yeah, it's recorded.
Cards for you guys too.
Right, so while Sue does that, we can get underway. All the meetings in order, we can start with quick attendance. Dan here, Kim here, Laura. Laura's not here. Nate,
Yeah,
Kelly,
Here.
Maureen.
Here.
Barbara is not here. Krista,
Here.
Valerie, Paris. Okay. So, moving right along, recapping our last meeting in November. We went over, the survey, the results we've gotten so far. I believe we had around, 28 responses, then. Happy to say that that number's jumped a bit. We're up to 41 now. So that's good. Hopefully we can continue to do a big final push before the end of the year. Then we also talked about better ways we can kind of capitalize on the use of our webpage on the town's website. We floated a few ideas and hopefully we can kind of shore them up tonight. So we can actually have something to put up there besides the survey, because again, as soon as the new year starts, hopefully we'll have our mandate from the community on what they would like us to do. So with that, is there a motion to approve the minutes from the November meeting?
I'll second.
Just my name is spelled wrong. Just. It's classic. That's okay. I think it.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. So, next, let's do a quick check-in on the survey. Like I said, we have 41 responses right now. I was able to present it at the Rotary Club meeting. I got a few residents to take the flyers and hopefully share it around. Was not able to get it into the newsletter for the hammocks. Unfortunately, they do that bi-monthly, so they won't have one until January. And unfortunately, we want to try to get these done by the end of December. So I still plan to kind of go around, take them to people's doors and anything we can do to get more responses. So I encourage everyone else to kind of continue doing that final push, get as many people as they can to complete the survey. In terms of how the results and trends have differed, we're still kind of where we were last month. The biggest issues people are concerned with, of course, are natural resources, protecting Canandaigua Lake, followed by infrastructure, things like utilities, roadways, transfer station, internet access, and followed by housing, cost of housing, affordability, renting, and Airbnbs. With what residents would like to see from CAF, the overwhelming majority is still advocating community needs to the town board. We also have people looking for information about town government and its different departments. And still surprisingly, the third highest is fostering a greater sense of community. So that's something definitely to keep in mind as we move forward, different ways we can help do that as a panel. And for ways of communication, thankfully, people still say the majority, the best way to communicate is through the newsletter, followed by email, And then letter mail and social media posts are tied for third. So so far, pretty cost effective. If we can just continue using the newsletter and the email blast, that'll be save us on having to do any sort of mail budget or anything like that. And another positive note for the town, we've had a bunch of people sign up to want to receive the newsletter through the survey. So we can add that to those emails to your master list once the survey's done. Okay, so that was just an overview of the survey. Does anyone else have any ideas for like a final push we can do? I know Kim had the survey included in the newsletter again. Thank you for doing that. And sound supervisor said we were able to get it into the newsletter for the school district. So I think that'll be a nice increase as well. Just throwing it out, and if anyone else has any last minute ideas of a final push we can do.
Yeah, I mean, I put it on the Facebook page for Fox Ridge.
Mhm.
I don't know if I got any responses, but I hope there were any responses. I guess I could go on and didn't even get any comments or likes or anything.
No.
I know, it's so sad. But I could go on and just kind of, do a. Please remember, this is, we're trying to get this done by the end of the year.
So reminder.
I can take a bunch of these and pass them out where I live in Lakewood Meadows. You can't put them in mailboxes, right? That's like a big no-no. It's a
Yeah.
federal offense, but I can give them to people, neighbors, right?
Sue, thank you so much for getting these done. They look great.
Yeah.
Anyone else have?
You say you're in Lakewood Meadows?
Mhm.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
We could put it on the Facebook, HOA Facebook.
We could put it there. We can also maybe ask, can't think of, Jeff sends out like emails and just let people know, how we put thing out for like shoveling. Could ask them to do that. Just that there's a,
I'll put it in the, I'll put it on Facebook.
okay, and I'll talk to Jeff Ballard.
All right.
I'll put it on the Facebook page for the Canandaigua Botanical Society.
And I'll bring it to the Y tomorrow. She wanted a card.
Right.
Copy.
Is there any way on like the town's Facebook, we could have like one more post just reminding people it's
Yeah.
due at the end of the month? Great. If no one else has any other ideas or discussion on the survey, we can move on to talking about the website. I know during our meeting last month, an idea that was thrown out there that everyone seemed to really like was having a video or something we could put onto the website. I really wanted to kind of have this meeting be able for us to kind of hash out the content of that video and kind of put into, give ourselves a timeline of when we want to do this, who would do the filming, what would the content of it be, and what our goal is to kind of drive up engagement on our page on the website.
You can also make videos out of still images as well.
Mhm.
So that's even easier.
Maybe we look at some of the survey, the top 3 things like, I don't know, it's just off the top of my head. Whatever is happening in the community, we try to capture that in the video, something along the way. I don't know.
Mhm.
I think
Maybe somebody can ask, but what's it gonna be about? Is it gonna be about CAP? Is it gonna be about community? Or maybe both? The themes,
Yeah, that's a very good question. And again, that's kind of why I wanted to
yeah. I
hash it out,
understand, yeah.
because no matter what it really is, again, we just kind of want to have a more engaging
Oh,
page, so people are when they click on it, they don't think, oh, I made a mistake, I gotta go back. They'll maybe learn something about CAP and be more interested.
Where are they gonna find it? On our website?
Yeah, on
On
our
our website
page
page.
on the town's website. It could be, maybe just like a slideshow, like Kim suggested of just
Yeah,
still.
that sounds like a great idea.
I think that would be the easiest turnaround in
Yeah.
a short
Yes.
span of time.
Like kind of describing what it is we're trying to do, because it's one thing to kind of read the mission statement we have on there, maybe it's another thing if we have images from around town.
Something on there like we need your input,
Right.
we want your voice.
How can you expand this, what would you call it? Let your voice be heard. You have a video, I'd say,
Yeah.
you have a video about that, it would key into
Right.
something we've already begun to develop. I'm thinking of beginning with it here.
Because like the second bullet I have on there is since it's very apparent just with the survey results we got, that the majority of residents want the panel to be the one to kind of relay these concerns directly to the town board. I think another thing we can really do is encourage people to, now that we have a page on the website, now that we have our email, to really encourage people to realize that CAP is the appropriate group to go to if you have like a concern you would like brought to the board's attention. I put it in parentheses, maybe we can include that in a later edition of the newsletter, just reminding people that you have something like a grievance or you have an idea, present it to CAP and we'll be able to help you. That could be, again, something that we have in that quick little video, just saying, we're here, this is what we're gonna do. Email us if you have any, ideas, questions, concerns.
So who has access to the email?
It comes to me,
It comes to
yeah,
you,
but they can get to it from our page.
okay.
Yep.
And then
I'd
we
be
would,
curious,
And it just says on the page, email the committee, so they don't,
and then you just
And then I
forward it
funnel
to,
to, yep,
I'd be curious about, saying something, here's what we've done, it's like, here's what's in my head, and I'm not sure of what I'm gonna say. Was the previous incarnation of this, in other words, we're really the second type of this thing. They succeeded in a number of different things. So why can't we steal what they did? And say, I don't say it the way I'm gonna say it, but say, hey, we can do more. Or we need you to speak louder.
Mhm.
But you have the thing, the results of their survey, you have the results of impressions they made.
We could definitely build up that. About their survey might be a little dated.
Oh, yeah, no, I
So,
understand that,
but, I mean, you could build off of their successes or see that, oh, here's something they did and had been doing that could be continued.
yeah.
Because wasn't the original panel to create or revise the comprehensive plan?
Yeah, and it was, that was the first focus of it, and then it was to make sure that that the comprehensive plan was being implemented and to monitor, track, and kind of help with the implementation of the comprehensive plan. Funny thing, we're actually talking about that earlier today about in about a year, it'll be time to do another review and update and just kind of a refresh. So.
Okay.
In 26, that'll be a good homework assignment for all of us here
Mhm.
to help with that.
So there was, if I'm remembering correctly, and I haven't looked at it in a while, there was like about 9 things that the plan had talked
Mhm,
about.
that's right.
And we used that with the survey.
Right.
So we could even on this be like, here's the things that the comprehensive plan's talking about. These are the things that we've learned from the survey that people find it important.
The
you
most
know,
pressing issue.
The most pressing issues, we'd like to hear from you.
And
As far as how
that
you feel about
drives the
that.
government. The
Yeah.
Plan really drives.
Yeah.
What the focus
Those
is.
are the 10 items.
All time, right. Or even, yeah, I mean, I would use the survey stuff, I think that's a good idea.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
the
on the
points that
images.
she's got.
That is a great idea.
I do lots of nature pictures.
Oh, that's it.
Imagine that, right?
Yeah, would have thought.
Well, it's formulating in my mind to read, so right. You know, in general, we got pictures.
I.
Do we have any pictures would it- I'm thinking of a field that's blank, okay? The survey and everything else, the other crowd comes around and now it's growing flowers. I mean, that's the, how do you say, that's the theme. So maybe if you had pictures or something or sounds, I don't know.
I have agricultural fields behind these.
Okay, that,
Sometimes they're pretty blank,
yeah, we know that.
So if you go to the townships.
because that's the nature of
So
farming,
it's not
sometimes there's things
Oh,
there,
yeah,
sometimes
no,
there
no,
isn't.
no.
Oh, that's my teams.
Hopefully with farm stuff. When I was living in Webster, I was, behind me was a field, a farm, but then you
Is
see
the,
the houses coming closer and
does
closer.
CAP have something on the my TOC?
This is where I think the problem is, like, I have this app.
Yeah.
And if you go to the app, like I'm on the Canandaigua Town Hall app, and it gives you the Facebook and others, I can't find the survey. It's like buried, and I know I'm tech challenged, Sharon, but I think maybe that's why we're not getting as many hits, because I know a lot of my neighbors have this app,
Right.
but I don't know,
So if
I
you go
can't
to
get
the bottom of the,
to the website.
yeah, if you're not getting it. If you go to. There's just too many steps.
There, I think that's, might be, I don't know, like
Well-
right now this is loading, so.
Just from web design, every step you go, you lose somebody, so if you can cut steps, that's always. a
Okay,
great
so
thing.
now I'm there, so now
Okay, so then
where
you-
is our survey
So if you go over to
menu?
government.
I can add it as one of the top.
Do you see how many
top
steps?
widgets.
Like-
advisory.
Yeah, that's where, like, the girl at the Y, I said, just go to the website, she's like, I can't find it. So that's all I'm saying is, and I'm not, it's not a criticism, it's just,
No, it's a great point. We can add,
if we could
I
add
can add it right here.
somewhere easy.
Work on that too.
Okay, thanks, Sue.
Is there a way to push a notification that the survey deadline is December 31st?
In January, put in we're still here.
Well, we have changed the messaging.
Yeah, no, I'm serious, sort of, you know the way to do it.
Cause then we could do a little something on like the results of it and
Yeah.
how it's.
Yeah, with an additional there.
Right.
In other words, they can add to it.
Are you getting a lot of downloads on there?
I have, unfortunately with this one, I have to like manually ask them to give me analytics, which I'm sure. Yeah.
What would be used for you to know?
Oh,
See if it's working.
Does anyone else have any ideas they want to throw out of how we can kind of like drive up engagement to our page on the website? It's kind of like Maureen demonstrated, it is a little hard to find unless you know, you're looking for the community advisory panel. And we can't take up, prime time on the town's website, obviously, but there are other ways we can kind of.
well, I could do a news thing, like if you look at the homepage of the website.
This is what she's.
The news story, I can do a news story, I'll do another one and. With the link. that
Or
kind
just
of thing.
even that menu, when you click on that.
what I can do is, so if you look at, see where it says coming events, that's about the wreath.
Mhm.
Once that's over, which is next Saturday, for the next 2 weeks, I'll push hard the survey and like, I'll just make that dedicated.
Great.
'Cause I try to keep changing things around so
Right.
things look fresh.
We don't wanna, again, we don't wanna take.
No, but for the last 2 weeks, why
We
not?
could just put Jared's face off of there.
I never go on the
Give us
website.
front billing,
I never go on the website and I never drive down 5 and 20 in November, every 4th of November.
coming down Middle Cheshire tonight, anyone come that way?
Yeah.
I probably saw
'Cause of that
3
picture.
dead deer, so be
Really?
careful,
Oh, I
everybody.
didn't know
Yeah, I counted 3,
Did you hit him?
no, they're already dead.
Just checking.
I was trying not to, Jared. Sorry, Dad, we digress.
You guys have really, I think I've said this before, but your communications and the new, the app, the newsletter, just phenomenal. as far
Yeah.
as You've really
This
upped
looks
the communications and marketing a lot, I love it.
Well, here's the big one, so make sure y'all do this. Get,
One of my
get a
kids to do
snow
it.
plow
I
name.
told my kids to do it. Pretty obvious.
What?
Any resident,
Are our families old?
yeah,
We're not, okay, we're not exempt.
anybody's, yeah,
What am I eligible for?
name a snowplow.
Oh,
We can name it.
Is that all you-
My favorite so far is Amari Scooper, I think.
Is what?
Oh, I'm not supposed to give the names.
Fine.
Good secret, sorry.
Yeah, no, I didn't,
Here's
yeah, because I was
some
trying to get people to. fix it.
Amari Scooper,
What was the Josh Allen?
How many snowplows?
Slosh Allen.
Yeah.
Slosh.
Slush
Oh, I like that, that's
Slush
cute.
Allen.
Slush Allen. Mhm.
But so with this, are these going out in the mail or are these just like?
No, just
things-
events, I've encouraged everybody to just take a bunch
Okay.
and hand them out, Rotary events.
So we can
Take
take these.
some to the wreath thing,
Okay,
for
great.
our team.
I'll take a bunch,
Perfect.
my names.
I think and give them to my wife.
We really wanna push them because
She's
they've
the
got
one
the
who goes
survey
to
on the
things.
back book
Right.
and we're putting a date on that,
Take
and we wanna
them
get
to
as many out as possible.
Right.
That's
So
my
would
church.
library might take some.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
library,
That's my
put them in the
soup kitchen.
bathrooms, I don't care.
Oh.
Whatever you got.
They're a good place to get free
Yeah.
info out at.
Really? I was gonna say, I'm going to the library tomorrow, so.
So is everyone kind of okay with, like I have kind of written down here is, encouraging people that the email is, that's kind of like gonna be the primary purpose of CAP moving forward is now that we kind of know people want us to be the ones to relay the information to the board to kind of make the messaging moving forward, primarily, this is how you get in touch with us. Any questions, concerns you have about town of Canandaigua government or anything like that, to reach out to us. We then, refer them to the appropriate department, person at the town, or again, if it's an issue, that's something that we can then raise to the board at their meetings.
Can I just ask that sounds good, can I just ask more of the workings of the town, like, would I not wanna contact a town board member? Like, just to kind of clarify.
Yeah, as I think about because you're right, we don't want to have it that it's an insulated buffer from come with questions and concerns coming right to board members, because that's what everybody prides themselves on.
Right.
So how do we rephrase that you're, or if there's something that so this committee is to disseminate information out, but also bring concerns and ideas up in the larger scale, like through the survey and through other things, but
I don't think it
You know.
would replace contacting board
no,
members
so
directly.
that's the message that we want to get out. So, because if somebody has an acute issue, you don't want to, it's not the way it should work, and that's not the way that we should work. Of getting phone calls or getting text messages or emails or whatever might happen.
You definitely don't want emergency time critical things.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't, probably too easy, but just like general concern, we can address general concerns. if you have specific concerns or emergency.
Lofty
contact
goals,
your
you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
goals
yeah,
or
yeah,
goals or,
goals.
yeah,
Or ideas.
General.
yeah, or thoughts or
Overreaching.
ideas, hopes and dreams.
Yeah. And then
General,
maybe.
general complaints too.
Yeah.
Although you don't wanna say it that way.
Yeah.
People are aware that you give a report or
Mm.
can give a report.
At the
So if they, they know that that information is actually coming to the board once a month,
Mhm.
I think that should be articulated as well. And Jared, did we decide for next year, is it gonna be like a quarterly meeting where there'll be presentations?
Yeah, we'll have a court, so we will, starting next year, we'll have that a quarterly second board meeting month. Where there will be committee presentations and, because we have our cemetery committee, we have multiple, we have the history team, the ECB, we have multiple committees and teams and groups that will then present. So the thought is, beginning of the year update, then a couple mid-years, and then kind of a year wrap up.
And those dates haven't been like locked yet.
Kind of. We have, I put out a tentative calendar for the board meetings.
Okay.
Internally, but nothing externally yet. I
Okay.
put that out internally and. It's,
The town clerk usually does a press release.
yeah,
In January about all the dates.
and they would also be
It'll be
set,
on the website.
Yeah.
they will be set at our January sixth board meeting. When all those meetings are for the year. And especially when the board meetings are. It's like April, June, October, and December. October is a budget meeting. Budget workshop, and then April and June would be presentations, as would December, something like that.
So anyone has any other ideas on that? If not, we can move on to continuing our community outreach. Another thing we talked about at the November meeting was, it was a little maybe overzealous of us to try to kind of right out of the gate, start hosting our own events. Our kind of October event didn't attract too many people. So we talked about that a better way of capitalizing on it is just us kind of inserting ourselves into events the town already has, longstanding ones. Even if it is just having a survey or a flyer or something like that at a table the town has at an event, could go a long way of just, reminding people that we're here. And then we also talked about maybe different ways we can partner with other groups or organizations. Just kind of building relationships with them. Just want to throw that out to anybody if they have any ideas of specific groups, organizations, or events that we can set our sights.
The Ag Committee usually has some sort of display at the Ontario County Fair. It varies what they do from year to year. Sometimes it's just signs, but other times it's, adds more information. So. And that isn't just Canandaigua residents, but obviously there might be something that you can do with them.
It's a lot of winter Canandaigua events starting in January. I have to check online, but might be opportunities then.
And I can, if I see them, or if you want to, send out emails. Just to say, hey, this is what's going on, anybody can hit it, and drop off our cards.
Right.
Or whatever.
And the library does have a lot of events.
Mhm.
I know there was a comment made that was in the city, but it's our library too. So,
You're right.
Cause I know another, like when we first met, one of our overreaching goals for our our whole year together is to try to put together that, I don't know, like welcome packet, I guess, for new residents. Back then, I know it was floated that reaching out to organizations like the Chamber of Commerce might be a great way to get like a coupon book put together or something like that that we can include. So I think that might be a good event or a good organization we can start. We were like introducing ourselves to, getting to know. If anyone else has any ideas of kind of like groups like that that serve the Canandaigua area that we can kind of start establishing that relationship. So when we do reach out to kind of put that thing together, they'll be more likely to want to help us out and partner with us.
What about the Lake Island, Fox Ridge? It sounds like you guys are in a
Like with nothing,
develop,
yeah,
yeah, and they have, like, I think it's like just yearly meetings, but could go and see if we could get on the agenda and just kind of present that they were here kind of thing.
We don't have meetings yet, we just have like a Facebook page, right? And just, we don't really have meetings, and our HOA is still controlled by Morale until it gets turned over.
Oh,
To
okay,
the
okay.
residents, which is coming.
That's another
But
one.
I just want to know, what are the, besides the chamber and maybe Rotary, schools, it's just Google, what are the other organizations?
Kiwanis.
Kiwanis, like is Granger, does Granger do anything? Like I know Rosemary Parks. is
Yeah.
there. I mean, they do the big Christmas thing there, but
But those organizations, you may be able to reach out to see if they would want to, donate something towards that
Yeah.
packet,
okay,
like a free pass or something.
okay. And then the schools, partner, do anything with the schools, school district?
That's touchy because in some things they're very sensitive of the kids' information.
Yeah.
Getting out there, and having that interaction. Anybody who would be, if there's any interaction between kids and adults, is that ever, they have to be all background checked and everything, which could create, just make it more challenging.
Okay.
But I mean, another thing we talked about is like we could support the school in some way and kind of create a relationship that way. I know whenever they do shows, if they did it like my old high school, they did like programs where they, ask for sponsorships. You can put a little ad in their program. We could do something like that for CAP.
Church
I
bulletins.
believe the Canandaigua Players, which are the ones that do the
Right.
theater, they have a program and do take sponsorship. If I remember right, it's not very much.
We could do that. St. Mary's has a new bulletin, so maybe put a little thing in there.
I think it starts with just, like that says, building relationships before you want to date before you get married. And you want to just ask them for something the first meeting, right? So it's-
Exactly.
The first step is really just
Whole TV show about that.
some people. It's just getting this awareness and the output, the tactical output comes in.
I can't recall, did we have an idea of how we figure out new residents?
I think we said like town clerk. That's that information, right?
I don't remember.
If they come in and were to do. The assessor would get information on home sales.
Okay,
Doesn't help with renters, but the assessor gets information on home sales.
I think that's kind of where maybe establishing
where
that
we're at.
partnership with like the HOAs,
Yeah.
the landlords in the area. It could just be something that we give to them, so like, if you do rent an apartment or an Airbnb for a long period of time, maybe not for Airbnbs then. But if you rent and you sign like a year lease, maybe it could be something that we give to the landlords to say, would you mind including this? Because they already usually give packets of their own information. It wouldn't hurt to just slot another packet or something in their brochure, depending on how lengthy, we kind of make this a welcome thing.
Or, I mean, could you do something where, 'cause we have on the website, something from your residents, a place for them to sign up for the packet?
Mhm.
That way we get them
Yeah,
without printing a bunch of paper, but,
Right.
you know, let all the HOA knows, like, here's in your package, you know, give them a little blurb about, go to the town of Canandaigua website, sign up for
Mhm.
free, you know, if you tell them there's anything free, they're more interested. And then, you know, we can send them stuff.
Right.
Plus they get acquainted with our website. Jared's picture.
Thanks.
We're really looking for a different candidate, aren't we? In other words, we're not gonna be just with the pictures on my head. It's not enough for them to pat us on the back and say, hey, I think you're going good. What we're really attracted to is what's gonna make us better.
Right.
Slash different.
Ways we can like continue to improve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you improve enough, you're different than you were.
Right.
Do we publicize it and how do you want to change Canandaigua? We're asking.
I wouldn't phrase it that way.
I would be careful with that,
I wouldn't phrase it that way. I would phrase, you know, what do we want to enhance of the things that you really like? What do we want to enhance? Because the minute you throw out change, that's a loaded word and that does not fly well.
Okay.
Yeah, but what do you want to enhance? What you really want to like? What you really like? What do you, things like that.
Yeah.
And it's just semantics.
Good, thanks. No, but it's
Yeah.
important to men.
you can dig deeper on some of your topics, you know, so. If it's environmental, you can ask some more questions about that and dig down.
Yeah,
So, or whatever, you know, so you can maybe dig into some of that. a little
Yeah.
more. And then you would get to some of those other ideas.
I think the affordable housing, affordable places to rent, I've talked with a lot of.
I heard a really good term the other day, in meeting with someone and the term was attainable housing.
I like. that.
Attainable, this is when have you heard that before?
Yeah.
I like
Because
that.
when you throw out, because again, words are loaded, and when you say, you know, affordable has a connotation, different words have the
It does.
different connotations,
Yeah.
but if you flip it to attainable,
I like that.
that can mean multiple things for multiple people. For
Right.
some, attainable might be an apartment, might be an assisted place, it might be a
Yeah.
home.
And I think that's huge. I mean, I have a daughter who's been looking for affordable, rentable apartment and there isn't anything.
Yeah.
And I talked with the guy that I just bought a car today from and his kid ended up going to Geneva. There was nothing in Canandaigua that was affordable,
Yeah.
attainable, whatever word you want to use. So there isn't, they're not there. So,
Most of my son's friends who grew up in Canandaigua, they're either living with their parents or they've moved to an apartment like in Wayne County or something
yeah,
like
there's
that.
not, it's ridiculous. If you look at the cost of rent, it's unbelievable. Get on that, Susan.
It's gonna take about 10 years. We're working on it, but we're 10 years away from really having enough to make a
It's
difference.
so sad.
Is Town of Canandaigua part of the governor's housing compact?
We have started the process. We thought that everything had been submitted
Mhm.
as it needed to, but it hadn't been. So, but yeah, we are part of that.
Pro-housing
We're part of that. We are a pro-housing community. I mean, we have enough growth. So we meet all the thresholds for growth, even though we keep saying we need more, we have met thresholds for that. I mean, we could, in the next 10 years, we could have 1,000, 1,200 units going on.
Are we talking apartments? Is that what you,
We're talking everything,
everything?
yeah.
This is the north side project?
They have multiple projects throughout,
Okay.
but yeah. So.
Okay. So. if no one else has anything else they'd like to add. We can just move right along in the agenda. So summarizing our actions, we're gonna all kind of individually work to push out, the survey. And the last month we have, encourage people to share it with as many people as they can, take it, get our results. Again, encourage them that this is how they make their voice heard, for this new panel. We will look at getting something onto the website. Like maybe just a still video, or video of stills rather, just kind of again. Reiterating in a more creative way what it is we're trying to do. We'll have the survey on the front page after Wreaths Across America is done. Missing anything?
So did you put it on Canandaigua Chronicles? Okay. thanks.
Did we get any
And
fun
that's
comments on
cool.
that one?
You know what? I didn't even look.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes
one of
it's
those
better
where I'm
that
just
way.
like, I'm not touching.
Put it on and walk away, yep, never to return.
Because I'm sure that we're all. I mean, I usually can see the comments. They were more moved by the dog posts.
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness, yes.
At least we got some positives there.
All right, so with that. Let's schedule our next meeting.
I was just looking at January, to look at that. Is it, because the first is on a Wednesday, so would it be January
Did we
7th?
do 7 already? Did we say 7 already? I thought I saw 7 on my calendar.
Well, I just, that's,
It would be the 7th.
is it January 7th?
Yeah,
Okay,
If we're gonna
First
keep with the
Tuesday.
first Tuesday,
that would be the first Tuesday, right?
Yep.
And we're still doing 5:30?
yes, unless anyone would prefer changing the time, I think 5:30 still works.
Yeah, that
pretty well.
sounds
I
good.
think we discussed that at the last meeting, where people had said, because of sports or kids or whatever, didn't want to come out here.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep it.
Okay. All right, so that, we will schedule the next meeting for January 7th. 5:30 to 6:30, here at Town Hall. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
On motion.
More motions?
I'll second.
Seconds. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
I
All those opposed? Motion passes.
There's